Hey guys, welcome to the next part in Let's Play Football Manager 2015, and it is finally time to get back to the old reviews with Derby. I know it's been a while, but it's finally time, so I'll get you back into it now. And we're approaching at least a new decade. So the 20s has been very successful. It's, I was a little bit unsure at the start of the 20s where I was going to end up and where I was going to go, but we've done really well. And again, we're doing quite well in the season so far. So first things first, in the league over here, we are second with joint first at the moment with Man United. They have a better goal difference, and it's a considerably better one as well, plus 10. But we do have a game in hand, and that is against Reading, as you can see down at the bottom there. I don't know when that's going to be, probably because of future games and things. Probably push it back and forth, and so on. But what I probably would say is take us as top for now. 3 points ahead. Things could change. I don't know. But it's on a knife edge. So I'm going to say Liverpool not far behind either. And then, shockingly, West Brom in 4th, Hull in 5th. I know, it's strange. And then City in 6th, and then come Arsenal and Chelsea. The surprise, I guess, Aston Villa just totally fallen away, completely just died a death. Sean Maloney's come in, is now the manager. They're still in the Europa League, believe it or not. They are, in fact. Where are they? They've disappeared. They were in it anyway. West Brom are in it. But yeah, they're still going or something. But yeah, Villa just completely falling apart. In the Champions League, we've done well. We've got past the bloody group stages this time, so it's one better than last year. At least we're going to play Roma next. We're in the 6th round of the FA Cup, and we're in the Capital One Cup final. So yet another live commentary for you, lucky boys and one girl. It's going to be against Chelsea. Should be good. And I hope you look forward to that one. But let's go over some of the transfers before we go over the results. So we've spent £10 million and we've spent 20.9 million and saved up 10 in sales. So players to go, a load of players going out on loan. Stuart Perry has been sold. You may have noticed the lack of his name being mentioned over the last few years. And yeah, he's not had the impact. He's 30 years old now. He's arguably going to get worse and worse as he gets older. He's lost that pace. When I say, oh, well, he hasn't lost it. Yeah, he will, though, I imagine. I would assume he's going to lose it. But, he's been at Derby since the first season. He was one of the first pack of regens unleashed onto the game. And he's actually doing all right at Tottenham. He's got 7 in 12 appearances overall. But, Tottenham aren't doing great, so... But I have to, get someone else in. I have to replace him. We're trying to get into the top, very, very tip-top of Europe now. And Stuart Perry, 30 years old. I need even just £2 million. Might as well cash in on him. He's not going to be worth much in a couple of years. So, hey, it's £2 million. It's £2 million. I'm not going to argue. The other one is Demarai Gray, who's been a fantastic servant for Derby. He really, really has. He's 32 years old now. Again, he's losing his pace. He's losing his ability. He's only going to go down, but he's been wonderful for us. Was signed for £8 million, managed to recoup £500,000 for him. He's been fantastic. Over 10 years, in fact 10 years specific, at Derby. A fantastic career. Conor Mahoney also goes to Tottenham. That was just, that wasn't planned. I think that the fact that both Perry and Mahoney would go. Made 2 England appearances, again, had a fantastic career with Derby. Spent potentially 12 years, I think, almost, well, 11, I guess. 11 years with Derby, 10 or 11 years. Signed for £2 million. We actually managed to make a profit on him, which is quite astonishing, really. I guess if you discount all the wages and things as well, I guess. And lastly, Craig McPherson. This was a shame, really. He never really kicked on. You may again notice the lack of his name popping around. He just wasn't good enough. Unfortunately, we made a handy profit on him, signed for just £1.5 million from St Mirren, loaned him back. As you can see, I couldn't find a good enough reason to put him in the team. Like, I'd throw him in, I'd go, but what have you done? He scored a few goals. I think, let's see here. Yeah, he scored 1 in the league, and he hasn't scored again since. So, unfortunately, he didn't kick on and wasn't good enough for me, so I decided to cash in on him. Not a bad bit of profit, though. And that allowed me then to sign, now don't laugh, Jordan Henderson. A 38-year-old Jordan Henderson. Look at those mentals. That's insane. That is absolutely off the friggin' charts. You know, he's 20 leadership. I mean, you can't possibly not want a player for just 100k. You know, and I know we're full of slightly older players now in the middle of the park, but he was free agent. Well, for all intents and purposes, he basically was free. He is just. I mean, you can't argue. I just simply could not turn him down. He's going to be, you know, he'll be very used. He will be used sparsely, and I mean sparsely. He'll probably make all 5 or 6 appearances a season, but he's just an added extra. And by God, that experience could very well be handy, very handy. So, for 100k and relatively little wage, why the hell not? You know, it's going to be the next Liverpool captain. I'm not saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to go with that. Anyway, Anthony Wright. This is a player I've admired for quite some time. I think he's been an excellent player. He's Cypriot. He's one of the reasons why Cyprus essentially are doing so well, or did well. I think they've slipped away slightly. Yeah, that they weren't there. But if you look, they actually almost got into the top 10 a few years ago, and arguably may have done even. That goes up to 2027. Let's have a little landmarks here. Records. Yeah, that was in fact their highest world ranking. They got up to the top 11. And he was one of the main reasons why. For some reason, Cyprus just managed to make a load of good players all of a sudden. You know, this tiny little island that used to be owned by the British, I think. And he's a really good player, someone who I really, really like. And he was being sold for dirt cheap. And I was like, I gotta have him. I love this guy. He's fantastic. And he's someone I've wanted for quite some time. So for that amount of money, I was absolutely saying yes. And lastly, Reece Brand. Now again, eagle-eyed viewers may have seen his name in and around before. £19 million from Newcastle. He was the top goal scorer last season outside of Rocco Gallio, I think. As you can see here, yeah, he scored 23 and 27. I mean, how that is not worth a punt, I don't know. He got an assist in his first. He hasn't actually started the game yet, but he's got an assist so far. So I'm hoping for big things from this lad. So again, not bad. And now, you know, what that meant is I haven't actually spent a lot of money. So the transfer budget is constantly rising and rising and rising. So it's looking very good. And you know, finances. The finances is very strange because it dips into the red for a bit, and then we get, you know, a big load of money at the end of the season, and then it spikes all the way up to about 50 or 60 million, and there it goes again, and then the season happens, and you lose and lose and lose. And you go down to, like, I think a few million perhaps into the red, and then it all goes back up again. And you know, that's basically what happens. I don't know if that actually does happen in football. I can't imagine that's particularly great. I don't think, did we actually go into the red there? I can't even. Yeah, I think we did. But as I say, you know, we end up with about 60 million. It's the fucking rich. Okay, that's enough. That's enough for me. So let's go to the schedule then. Let's see, how have we done. There's a big plot of green everywhere, so that's always good. Unfortunately, we didn't start very well as we lost the Community Shield, but as I say, I don't take interest in the Community Shield. I think it's a big waste of time. Arsenal, again, winning that one. They love their Community Shield, Arsenal. But we started the season in quite nervy circumstances, to be honest, as we had to go to Middlesbrough, a newly promoted team, and we won 2-1, but they gave us a bit of a scare, did old Borough. It was 2-0 up, Paul Todd and Callum Cook with a penalty, but they got one back with a penalty of their own, and you know, I was panicking for a while, and then things again kind of didn't start great as we lost 3-2 to Chelsea. Gallio and Saramago scoring, but it wasn't a particularly great game if you look for us. I mean, if I go into a bit more detail here, I mean, we really 12 on target, 3 clear-cut chances, but Luka Jovic, who is now 31 years old, a player that a wonder kid, by the way. I recommend you get this guy if you can. He's fantastic. He plays for Red Star Belgrade at the minute, or Crvena Zvezda, as they're otherwise known. But Chelsea paid nearly £50 million for him, and they then sold him and then bought him back from. I don't know. The CPU is just stupid, okay? Just, I don't know. They've also got Leo Witt, who's one of the best players in the game. He's 25 years old, German. He's basically, imagine Mesut Ozil if he was actually, like, amazing. Don't get me wrong, I like Ozil. I think he's a brilliant, brilliant player, but he's not consistent enough for me. That is basically Mesut Ozil if he was consistent. But as you can see, we didn't make our chances count. They did. Shame. Then we went on a big win of runs here as we beat Huddersfield 4-3. Gallio with 2, Cabrera and Hammond scoring. Adam Robertson, yes, who's now back at Newcastle. Okay, Adam Robertson, again, I don't know what this game's on, but he was a fantastic player for Newcastle. You know, I bought him through, again, one of the first big regens. He had loads and loads of potential when I was at Newcastle. He scored a hat-trick against me here, as you can see. Sold to Huddersfield for 12 million, and then just bought back for Newcastle. I don't know what happened there. Maybe he got homesick or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's a mad game. All goals in the first half. Crazy. We then played Arsenal 3-1. With Vuko scoring, Poyet and Francis. 3 people I really would not have expected to score. Julian Brandt got a consolation for them. Rocco Gallio was a strange one for him, a man of the match, and he hasn't actually scored, so that's a rarity. And then the Champions League. So as you saw, we got through this time. We got through this group stage, and oh, we've already played Roma. That's good. Okay, the little spoiler for later. But yeah, where are we? As you can see, we managed to squeeze through as we beat a very certain Vitesse. More on that in a second, but yeah, we managed to squeeze through. Paris Saint-Germain, really good. Never actually won the Champions League yet, but they're a very good team. Managed by Laurent Blanc. They just get a shitload of like Middle Eastern wonder kids, like from Qatar and you know Saudi Arabia. You know, from there, like if they ever produce any wonder kids, they just go straight to Paris Saint-Germain. I don't know what it is. Maybe some deal with Qatar Airways or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's good. And we started off really well as we beat Bayern, by Leverkusen, sorry, 3-1. Saramago and Gallio with 2 goals. We then went to Reading, Gallio scoring again to give us a handy 3 points there again. Maybe the luck's returning a little bit in terms of that, because you know it felt like, I mean, it was there, but last season obviously, but you know, I don't know. Maybe the luck's back, I don't know, because it just didn't feel like it was last season. 3-2 against Bournemouth at the Capital One Cup. Saramago and their own goal. Leeds 2-0. Saramago and Gallio. You can start to notice a bit of a pattern here. Fortunately, we lost 1-0 twice. Firstly against Paris Saint-Germain in Paris, and then 1-0 at Old Trafford. Bitterly disappointing there. 4-2 against Villa. Gallio, Wood, and Saramago with the goals, and then little bit, I get a tiny little bit of retribution as we got a draw this time against Vitesse. Well, I say retribution. We had to come from 1-0 down. That is basically an FMing. That is what is described in the business as being FM'd. If you don't know what it means, look it up. I've told you about this before anyway, so pay attention next time. I hate Vitesse. If you support Vitesse, sorry, I hate your fucking club. It's just. And I'll show you Ham's goal. I mean, I was massively relieved, but I thought they were going to pop up at the end. I think that second shot may have actually taken place in like the 90-something minute. Oh, it's so frustrating. But here we go. Hammond, oh, lovely header. Really, really nice header. And that got us a point against Vitesse. Last season, maybe it wouldn't have done. Hull City 0-0, and then Leyton Orient 3-1. Wood, Todd, and Lingard. Yes, Jesse Lingard is still going. He's retiring at the end of the season. He has amassed 541 appearances, and that's still climbing. We still have a few months of the season to go. Will he get to 550? Who knows? We'll see. That would, I believe, put him in, I think, 2nd place in the all-time record, in the all-time charts for derby appearances. Only one player has had more than him, and that's, I think, Steve Bloomer, who played in like Victorian times, when they basically played like 50 games a year or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Sunderland 1-1. Sorry, Lingard scoring again, and at this point, from out here, he had hardly played. Oh, sorry, from there. Sorry, I should say. I thought 36 years old. I don't need to play more. He's retired, hiring. I'll get some young players in. No, I wanted him to finish well. I wanted to do it for Jesse and get him. And you know what? He's paying me back. He scored a goal there again. He did really well. And then, hallelujah. We beat Vitesse. Rocco Gallio, 82nd minute. Cal, I'm coming to show you all these goals. I was so happy. This is one of the most this is one of the best wins on FM15. Now, I've won the league, I've won the FA Cup, I've won the Europa League, but my God, I've never been more satisfied than beating fucking Vitesse right here. Rematch after last season, in Vitesse as well. And, you know, when they score a bloody free kick like that, you think something's going to go wrong, but no, there is Rocco Gallio, 10 goals for the season. This is still the Champions League group stages, but then they bounce straight, actually do they? I can't even remember. Yeah, they do. Aaron Francis just strangely gives the ball away twice. In fact, 3 times potentially. No, he gives it to Poyal. Okay, fair enough. I can't remember the goals. As I say, I play a few years ahead of you guys, so I can't quite remember them all, unfortunately. But here's Jesus Morales, who scored a hat-trick against us, you may remember, last season. A lovely ball from Janssen, and I think Adam Stevens probably could have done a little bit better there. But a nice strike anyway from Moretti there. But here we go. Callum Cook, 81st minute. It's coming any second. Lovely strike. That's exactly what we needed. Drawing level in the final 10 minutes. Then basically from the kick-off, as you'll see, check this out. I'm just letting it play. Oh yes, that's fantastic. He's onside. Look at the Vitesse players running over to the linesman. Ambrose made the goal. He has been such a fantastic signing so far. He's been played quite sparingly, but my God, that was satisfying. Right, moving on. Another 3 goals. Gallio scoring again twice. As we beat Swansea 3-1, Cabrera with the other. Norwich 1-0, Gallio again with the goal. You can just see this man is just an absolute machine. Then 0-0 against Leverkusen, not the best result, but not the worst either. It meant we kept rolling. And Vitesse played PSG. I don't think they had a great time, I don't think. Tottenham 2-2, Gallio again scoring. Paris Saint-Germain 0-0, not a bad result considering how absolutely rampant they are. I also want to introduce you to Sean Moore, a 16-year-old centre-back. A good player. He's actually, I've already given them the 3 shirt. I did. The game assigned him that one. And we got another draw, 1-1. And also that was a dead rubber. That's why I was playing him, by the way. But we'd already qualified, I think. Southampton 1-1. Then we lost to Liverpool 3-2. Josh Wood scoring 2 goals, but it wasn't enough as Liverpool round 3-2 winners. Swansea 2-0, Capital One Cup quarter final. So we're into the semis there. Saramago and Gallio with the goals. Manchester City 1-0. Kevin McKenzie popping up with a goal. Check this one out. 26th minute. Fairly even game for the most part. We arguably shaded it with the 3 clear-cut chances and more possession. Well, here we go, from a corner set piece. There's Mayo, the flick on to his centre-back partner, Kevin McKenzie, and his first goal, a pretty big one at that. Then 2-2 against Newcastle in the run up to Christmas. Robert Hammond back in the team. There's Wayne Knott. Again, a lot of draws, as you may notice so far, but we bounced back with a 3-0 victory against West Brom. Gallio scoring 2, McKenzie scoring again. Then 3-1, Knott, Lingard and Hammond. You may notice a slight lack of Robert Hammond lately. More to come on that one. 3-1 against Borough, so again starting to get the victories going again, especially with the 3 goals. Look at the 3-0, 3-1, 3-1. Wood with 2, Josh Wood and Sean Fisher scoring. He's a rarity. But Josh Wood, 20 years old now, again has super potential. He's not. That concerns me that he doesn't have a lot of dark green. Yes, a few on physicals, and okay, his speed's getting better, but his potential, I don't know. I'm just going to have to play that one by ear with Josh Wood. Saramago scored 2 as we played the first game of 2029 with a victory, 2-1, and then we played Huddersfield again, this time winning 3-1 as Cabrera, Saramago, and this new one here, Daniel Gracia. I can't quite believe. I think this might have even been his debut. Decided, you know what? It's the FA Cup. I'm going to play a few young kids. There he is. Look at that, popping up in the box. Goal on his debut. He's only 16. Daniel Gracia. Let me just have a look at that. Double check. Yeah, no, 17 now. Sorry. Oh yeah, he just turned 17. He's gone loan at Skoda Xanthi in. I don't know where that is. Who's that? Oh, Greece. Okay. Couldn't quite tell what that was. And yeah, 17 years old from Spain. Again, top potential. Really good. I've also had, that's to say, that's when Sean Moore also came on, the 16-year-old. We then beat Chelsea 4-3. Vasco Saramago with a hat-trick and Rocco Gallio just absolutely on form, these boys. Aaron Francis scoring the winner against Arsenal. Yes, Aaron Francis, former Man City player. I thought for a second he played for Arsenal. I thought, wouldn't that be hilarious? No, here we go. Pop up in the 3rd minute. I don't want to say we FM'd Arsenal there because we didn't. Because we had a few more shots than what would qualify as an FMing. People like to bring it up a lot, I don't know. But Aaron Francis, of all people, popping up in the box. Lovely composed finish on the turn. And yeah, that's a big win. And then we stayed in North London as we beat Tottenham again in the 1-0 in the FA Cup 4th round. Josh Wood with that goal. We then, one of the biggest East Midlands derbies ever. Well, over the 2 legs anyway, as we played Nottingham Forest in the Capital One Cup semi-final, 1st leg. 3-0. Gallio and Ambrose just dominated them again. Then things got even better. Look at this run. It's just going on and on and on. Rocco Gallio, it's just him and Saramago at the minute, just absolutely outstanding. With Gallio there, with 2 goals to beat Manchester United. In fact, I'll show you these now. 47th and a pen. In fact, I'll just show you that. You know what a penalty looks like. But yeah, as you can see, their player ratings are just down and horrible. They've signed, by the way, Alessandro Blandino. Remember him from the Italy save. Hope you do, because he's very good. There's Gallio. Lovely, well worked. In off the post. That is still David De Gea. He's still going. I'm not even joking. Let's have a look at his profile. In fact, I'll show you the Man United squad and things. AVB is still there. I'll show you the teams, the managers, sorry. David De Gea is 38 years old. He has been at Manchester United now for the best part of, wow, 18 years. Christ. He's not a legend. I don't know what he is. But yeah, we managed to win 2-0. So you can just look at the form. Look at that green. It's just unbelievable. And then that was halted. But it was still enough. 5-3 on aggregate. Just a nutty game. It went to 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2, 5-3. And I'm thinking, oh boy, it's not going to do it. It's going to be the mother of all comebacks. No way. But Wayne Knott, I'll show you Wayne Knott's goal. Because I recall this being, that 8.5. He's the best player on the Derby team by far. If I recall, I think this was an absolute belter. Look at that for a finish. Oh, what's a strike? I mean, I know the goalkeeper's miles away, but still. But it was enough. And the game, it's gone into that mode again where it's like, do you know what? All them goals you scored in the first leg, yeah, they don't mean anything because we're just going to wipe it away, or at least attempt to wipe it away. Anyway, Leeds 2-1. We also won at Ellen Road. Patrick Roberts, forgotten man. We haven't seen him for a while, have we? Popping up, I'll show you his goal. Patrick Roberts, oh yeah, I'll show you. In fact, I'll show you that these 2 goals happened within about 30 seconds of each other. Patrick Roberts, who was already at Derby, in case you don't know, by the time I was there, lovely free kick. Finally starting to score some bloody free kicks. He was good. He's not. I don't think he's as good as he could potentially be. Like Josh Wood hits against them. It's 2-0. That was in the space of what? Not even 2 minutes. I'm talking like 30, 45 seconds. But yeah, he's good, Patrick Roberts. But obviously he's getting on a bit now as well. He's, what is he? 32. So again, he's probably got a couple of seasons. And then recently we played Roma in the Champions League. Managed to win 2-1, although they have an away goal. We also played Fulham in the FA Cup 5th round. Josh Wood with 2 goals again. He's starting to kick on now, maybe make himself first teamer. But I'll show you these goals as well. Vernon and Cabrera. There's Vittorio De Falco, who used to play for Liverpool. Very good little regen player. They, again, made a loss. I don't understand the CPU, and arguably we didn't deserve to concede that goal, I don't think, on the basis of a result. I'm just looking through the Roma team. I don't recognise too many players, but here's our goals anyway. There's Michael Vernon. Lovely strike. I mean, that is just fantastic. Right on half time. But then things got even better from another corner. Any second now. Actually, you know what? This might have been a Roma goal, in fact. Can't remember. Sorry, I have a short-term memory of a fish. I can't even remember what the times were. Yeah, sorry, it was. This is a De Falco goal. I don't show too many goals against, but look at that. I mean, to be fair, a great ball over the top. Defence completely caught out. And that was an away goal. Now, that was a real kick to the teeth because away goals are just absolute killers. Absolute killers in the Champions League. And, if you're playing at home first, it's really not what you want. I hate playing at home first. Having to go away. I mean, okay, yes, you've got the away goals and stuff. but I'd rather have it all ready, sewn up and in the bag type of thing. The away, in terms of the away goals. I mean, there's Brand playing Cabrera. Obviously, Brand's only just come in, but there's Cabrera with a finish, and that was enough to give us the win. So we've got a titchy little game there in Rome, and the Fulham game. I'll show you Josh Wood's final 2 goals here, and we'll leave it there. So Fulham, I think they're still in the Championship or League One. They haven't really kicked on or anything. But Wood, as I say, he's 20 years old now. Lovely header. It's trying to decide whether he has. I mean, obviously he's good enough. I know he's good enough. It's just trying to fit him in the team when you've got Saramago and Gallo in such good form. Both are just absolutely smashing them in. There's Barlow, who I like to play in the cup. Jordan Henderson. Lovely pass though, he's got an assist. He's handy, Jordan Henderson, as I say. Look at that lovely pass. Maybe if that were a striker or someone else, someone a bit younger, he probably would have had a shot there. But no, good composure, and he passed to Josh Wood. Hey, it could have been a replay. That could have sent us to another game. And how much of a pain would that be? So, plenty on. The potential quad is on, dare I say. I mean, God knows if it'll ever happen. But... and I don't think this Derby team's quite good enough yet to win the Champions League. It's good, it's very good, but will it win the Champions League? Not sure, but we're still on for the title. We're still on for the Champions League, we're still in the FA Cup, and we have the Capital One Cup final next. That will be the next video. It will be uploaded in the next few days. I hope you join me for that. Another live commentary. And I'll end with, well, firstly this, again, the club information. I'd like to show you this now. I'm finally an icon. Become an icon at Derby. I think Rocco Gallo again has moved up the list, so he has a potential to become a legend. I don't know whether he will yet or not. But Michael Vernon again is still in favoured personnel. Excuse me. And lastly, we'll just go over some of the managers. I know I like to keep you updated on this. So here are the managers of the Premier League teams. Go in alphabetical order. So starting at Arsenal, Lee Clark, who has been there now for a while. In fact, I think he's been there for, well, nearly 10 years, in fact. My God, I was the Derby manager for a while. How ironic. Yeah, he was the Derby manager, now he's been at Arsenal for a decade. Fair play. Maloney, now at Aston Villa. Di Baggio, the former Vitesse manager, now at Chelsea. There's me, obviously. Paul Robinson, not the goalkeeper, the other one, Huddersfield manager. He used to play for West Brom. Tata Martino at Hull. Michael Appleton at Leeds. Brendan Rodgers still at Liverpool. Yes, still. Slaven Bilic at Man City. AVB still at Man United. He's been there for about 15 or so years now. Okay, maybe not that long. Okay, 12 years I think. Terry McPhillips at Borough. Edison Cavani at Newcastle. Strange one. Even stranger, Juan Mata at Norwich. Carl Robinson at QPR, Gary Bowyer at Reading, Diego Simeone at Southampton, Stephen Presley at Sunderland, Gareth Southgate at Swansea, Maurice Malpas at Tottenham, Derek McInnes at West Brom, who's always seems to go to West Brom, a football manager, and there you are. So that is that. You are now completely updated, and with that, I will leave you to go. So thanks very much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. And with that, I will see you for the Capital One Cup final against Chelsea. Should be a good one. Till then, goodbye.